Hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by the team from Kincora Copper. Kincora Copper are an active explorer looking for the next big copper porphyry discovery, having already drilled over 30,000 meters at their projects in New South Wales. Today, the company has released a focused presentation on their brownfield Trundle project and outlined detailed plans for their next phase of drilling. And to discuss this, we have Technical Director John Holliday, who is a foremost expert on porphyries in that region. And we have Sam Spring, who is the CEO of Kincora Copper. Sam, great to see you here today. And John, Sam, if we could start off with you, if you could give us a bit of an overview on the progress to date, and what are Kincora's plans immediately going forward?
Well, thank you, Leo. It's great to have the opportunity to provide some further colour. We started drilling in early 2020 and have continued pretty much uninterrupted since. We've been one of the most active explorers in Australia's foremost porphyry district, the Macquarie Arc. Having completed almost 30,000 metres of drilling, we've consolidated that knowledge gained over the last 2.5 years. At our flagship Trundle project, which we're focusing in on today, we've made 2 new intrusion discoveries, and most recently what we believe is the largest skarn discovery in New South Wales. Off the back of consolidating that knowledge, we've now identified the mineralised system controls better, where we're getting grades, what that's explaining, and that's really reaffirmed our geological models and concepts. We've now outlined our next phase of drilling plans, which are expected to be a high impact drilling program, in effect leveraging our results and knowledge gained to date, looking to test more and shallower targets. I guess, in summary, very high conviction in this next phase of targets driven by the results to date.
Fantastic. So, John, hello. As I mentioned, you're chairman of Kincora's technical committee, and in your background, you previously led some very significant discoveries in the Macquarie Arc region with Newcrest. What are your thoughts on the results to date and plans going forward, and how that positions Kincora?
Yeah, hi Leo. Look, from a technical perspective, we're in the best position that Kincora's ever been in, and we've got a standout position in the district of near discovery projects. And that's not just the Trundle one which we're talking about today, but a number of the other ones as well. And remember, this district, the Macquarie Arc, is the premier porphyry province in Australia and one of Australia's great copper provinces. Our tenement portfolio, I think, is the envy of a lot of major companies, and they're watching us closely. And if we get one really good ore grade hit, they'll be after us like anything. In the southern extension zone at Trundle, we recently got the best encouragement, which is a deep magnetite skarn zone with significant ore grade intercepts, just not over sufficient width at that depth to really get too excited about. But we did hit some indications of porphyry veining and one very short interval of very high grade, which in fact surprised us. It was so high grade. So yeah, we've got the southern exploration zone at Trundle to follow up on. But since then, from our learnings, we've also developed a range of other shallower targets at Trundle. And some of these remind me of the stage that other projects, other discoveries like North Parkes and Cowal were at in the very early days. You know, our Duns North target, for example, we know there's a porphyry system somewhere near there, shoshonitic volcanics, which are very favourable in the Macquarie Arc, got mineralisation at surface, plenty of open space beneath that, and ore grades in shallow percussion holes or air core holes, an IP anomaly, and no one's ever put a deep drill hole in any other direction except further to the east from it. So that's an obvious target, and if we made a discovery there, well, it's quite shallow. We've also got the Botfield target, which is to the south of the southern exploration zone, and that's equivalent to a very unexplained large magnetic anomaly, which could be more skarn or it could be magnetite alteration related to porphyry intrusions in an intrusive complex. So yeah, in summary, we're in a good position to go drilling again, and that's particularly at Trundle, but also on our other projects, which include Fairholme, Nevertire, Ningen, and Condobolin, and they're discussed in other corporate presentations that we've already put out.
And Sam, I mean, John seems very upbeat there about your prospects. Not necessarily reflected in the share price in these tough market conditions. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's right, Leo. It's a point that's not lost on us, particularly with the board and management being relatively significant shareholders. As John mentioned, our last phase of drilling really focusing on the southern extension zone at Trundle. And from a technical perspective, that's really interesting. It's a very large discovery with first signs of the porphyry, technically all very encouraging, but it's deep and it's one target. And in hindsight, and particularly in a deteriorating market as what we've had, that sort of profile of target is something that I guess you'd expect to underperform your peer group. And that's what we've exactly achieved. The really positive thing about these recent reviews and looking at the next phase of our drilling is the technical outcome is that we've got very high quality of targets and a multiple number of targets. A really positive commercial outcome of that is that these targets have a very different profile. There's a number of them. They're generally all grade mineralisation following these zones up from surface, so a lot shallower, and they're porphyry, not skarn targets. So really the reason for today's detailed technical presentation on Trundle is to help emphasise this point, and also Trundle being the next project of the next drilling campaign. So I guess in summary, the next phase is looking to test 5 targets within a 3.2 kilometre mineralised trend. And really from a scale and all grade potential, that's a lot more favourable than the last phase of drilling that we've done. But it's really, again, looking to leverage that knowledge gained over the last 2.5 years with greater number of targets, greater upside potential and greater level of confidence.
I mean, John, as I mentioned earlier, you've had a lot of success in the region. Can you take us through some of the exploration techniques that have proven successful with some of those other major discoveries you've been involved with in the district?
Yeah, well, Leo, most of the discoveries have been made driven by geochemical results. A lot of the ones on the Junee Narromine belt where Trundle is and Fairholme is made by air core drilling through thin cover to thick cover and getting samples from the basement rocks and then following that up with deeper drilling. So at Trundle, for instance, there's been quite a lot of that air core and shallow drilling done, and it's generated lots of anomalies. So from that and some follow-up drilling, we know it's a very big system at Trundle. But there are significant areas of this anomalism in the shallow drilling that no one has ever followed up under. And there's quite a reasonable chance that somewhere under one of those geochemical anomalies, there's going to be a porphyry pipe like at North Parkes. For instance, the discovery of North Parkes came from a single drill hole along a road hitting a bit above 0.2% copper. But there was a lot of follow-up work to be done, years of work in fact, and people have never followed through with that at Trundle, and we're trying to do that now, and that's why we think it's in a near discovery phase. A lot of companies have done a bit of this work and then they just get cold feet and walk away. Homestead walked away from Cadia. Rio gave up on North Parkes and they found quite a bit more there since. Other companies had a chance to go in with Cowl and didn't, and Evolution since found a lot more there. So we just think at Trundle we're a good chance that we've got so much smoke, so to speak, that there should be a good porphyry system in there somewhere that in an area that no one's drilled to date. Yeah, it's just a good big mineralised footprint that deserves a lot more exploration.
Absolutely. It's a patient business looking for that big porphyry discovery. Yeah,
well, that's for sure. You've got to be persistent, and every discovery presentation you ever see, people put at the end, what were the key factors and the word persistence comes up.
Absolutely. Sam, in today's presentation, there's an interesting slide there on why investors should consider porphyry exploration, even in these generally uncertain market times. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, there are a couple of points we're looking to emphasise there, Leo. I guess the first being that the discovery of a significant porphyry, no matter where you are in the cycle, creates significant value for shareholders. And that's the point that, as John touched on, we're looking to push ahead with Trundle in this next phase of drilling. SolGold is the case and point that we use there. At that point, it wasn't a favourable market. You didn't have a tailwind from copper prices or general market conditions, but the discovery that SolGold made still generated 20x for shareholders. Another sort of well-known example is Oyu Tolgoi, the original discovery that Robert Friedland made at Ivanhoe. That generated 100x at the asset level. So I guess that's the sort of scale of upside that you see with copper porphyries. They're large. They're probably the largest prize in the hard rock exploration game. And within the New South Wales system, you've got it proven that a lot of the big porphyry systems have multiple discoveries, multiple deposits, and have been found in quite a quick succession. The two initial open pits at North Parks, E22 and E27, those discoveries made within a year. John's success and the Newcrest team's success at Cadia, with Cadia Ridgeway and Far East, were within 4 diamond holes and within 6 months of each other. So this next phase of drilling, we're looking to try and confirm our thesis that we've got about a quarter of the North Parks system. North Parks is Australia's second largest porphyry mine. It hosts over 24 million ounces of gold equivalent. There's been 22 discoveries to date, with about a 40% conversion from a discovery to an ore body. So meaning 4 out of 10 discoveries turn into be either mines or economic ore bodies. So at the next phase of drilling at Trundle, we're looking to test 5 targets that have that sort of discovery potential. We've significantly improved our understanding of the system from the drilling that we've done over the last 2.5 years. That's really refined our confidence in our models for this next phase of drilling. And that's really the ambition of the next phase, is to confirm at least one or multiple discoveries. So thank you for the opportunity here, Leo. I guess I'd refer investors to the detailed presentation that we've put out today. I'm certainly more than happy to discuss any queries that people might have, or have follow-up with private calls accordingly. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Sam and John. It's wonderful to get an update on the company, and I look forward to having a look at this presentation in detail and hearing back from you a few months down the track when more of the drilling has been completed.
Okay, thanks very much, Leo.
Thanks, Leo.